Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Count Christo and this is MEIOU and Taxes 3.0, the path to modernity, I believe it is called. So, this is the Ottomans. It is the Light from the East campaign, but it is not as you once knew it. The Byzantiums are now, the Byzantines rather, are now called just Rome, which is interesting. I don't really like that, how it looks on the map, but that won't matter because the cleansing fire of the most superior Beylik will drive them aside, of course. So, I have so far on YouTube uploaded some, although I haven't uploaded at the time of speaking, but I will at the time of uploading this one. I have uploaded 3 videos of me kind of looking at MEIOU and Taxes 3.0. This is not that. This is me attempting to play. This is an alpha build, generously given to me by the devs, so thank you very much, M&T devs. You are gods amongst men, as has been said many times. But, yeah, we're going to be playing, basically going to be redoing, what we did in the previous ones, but, you know, it'll probably take longer, because we have no idea what the heck we are doing. I'm going to still be digging into features. I'm going to still be spending plenty of time paused, but I will not be spending 100% of the time paused, as we did with the previous one. So first off, we've set things here. Settings are unlocked, which means we can refire this event. We've got all the extra tags you could possibly want. There's no real downside to that, as far as I know. And we're on normal difficulty settings. There is hard, very easy, easy. We'll stick with normal. I'm sure it's mostly balanced around normal anyway. But that's what we're gonna go with. It seems fine to me. Cool. We will actually be unpausing this time. Chat. Okay. Okay. So we have many decisions. This is some of the things. One of the things I haven't really looked into is that there are there's rights and privileges of our estates, and there's all kinds of very complicated things like special map modes, do all kinds of wonderful things. But I think for today we have spent enough time looking around. We haven't spent enough time looking around. We want to spend an infinitely long period of time looking around. We have spent enough time looking around for now before I actually start playing. So we're going to give it a go and just kick it off and see what we can do here. So step 1 is probably unpause for a few days, just to kind of let the initialization get set up. But first, I've got no game sound. Why have I got no game sound? Hang on. What's going on here? Oh, there's no webcam on this one because it's a main YouTube series. There we go. But now I'm going to need to mute music in game. Cool. All right. Green for bureaucracy and commerce-related laws. Red for everything else. Yeah, interesting to pass. Okay. Pass, me with an S. Okay, interesting, interesting. We will see. We will see how all that goes. But for now, we're going to kick it off. So, this is the beginning. If you didn't see the original series, there were about 14 episodes of it. You could watch it if you like. It's very good fun. It's on 2.5. We conquered all of Bulgaria and all of this bit and all of this bit, basically. And but the goal of the campaign is to drive east. We've done a campaign as the Romans, where we took all of this, and now we're going to do a campaign as the Ottomans, where we take all of this, and we're going to try and create some wonderful trade networks and prosperous trading hubs and industrialized cities and good communication connections and all that kind of cool stuff. There are rivers going down, like this is a river that actually exists in game that communication efficiency can go down by boat, which is why you can get like harborage infrastructure in Baghdad. So we're gonna have, I think that's my kind of the midterm, or like the early game goal is obviously control Anatolia, control Greece, control Bulgaria, solidify, convert. The religion system is not fully in, but there is a religion system, so we can work with that. We're going to try and be fairly fundamentally Sunni. We're not going to be very tolerant. Although I don't know, fundamentally is not necessarily the right word, but we're not going to be very tolerant. So we're going to try and make good Sunni Anatolia and Greece. That's step 1. Step 2 is secure Egypt and secure the Levant. And where does the Levant stop? I think the Levant stops here. I don't think this counts as a Levant, but anyway, we want to capture the Bosphorus. We want to capture. Wait, I don't mean Do I mean Bosphorus? I'm so bad. River names, I always get stuck on. It's Bosphorus and can't remember. I can't remember. But these two rivers, the two rivers between which Babylon sat. Is it Babylon that literally means between two rivers? One of those old places. Yeah, we can use special map modes to see rivers, but I don't think it names them. But yeah, you can see there's a river that runs down here, which the kind of midterm goal is control Egypt and control that river. And then we're going to try and industrialize that river and get good harborage infrastructure on it, so we can get messages really, really quickly from Aleppo all the way down to Basra. And then the kind of late game goal is dominate India, China, the Near East, Africa, and use our wonderful communication down this river to communicate with our far-flung ADs. Euphrates and Tigris, thank you. Thank you. And what is the one that means between those two rivers? What's the name? Is it Babylon? Or is there a different one? Which way around are they, by the way? Is this the Tigris and this the Euphrates? I think it's that way around. Mesopotamia, of course. Mesopotamia. Thank you. Thank you. All right, cool. So, rivalries. We're going to rival, I think, Rome. It's going to take me a while to get used to the fact that they're called Rome. Some other people that will probably eclipse. Oh, good. My mute key still works. Excellent. Mesopotamia, for sure, will be one of the ones we want to go after early. Sorry, not Mesopotamia. Kandar. There's also, you know, last time we had some pretty good success fighting down here. If you don't know what all of these things mean, there's all these kinds of new buttons and things. Don't stress. I'm going to try and unpause in the first episode of this series, so we can't go through everything. Things will come up as they become relevant. Probably... Who can I get here? These guys? Yeah. You. And... maybe Adin? Adin likes me, though. Maybe Bulgaria? Kandar doesn't like me. Yeah, sure. Kandar. Kandar's not actually in the Aegean. Trade nodes, are they different? They look very similar, at least. I imagine there's some differences, though. I think did the Levant always go that far around? Actually, was there a Levant trade node? Anyway. The reason there's so many of these minor centers of trade, by the way, now, is that's how you control how many merchants you get. It's the number of important centers of trade you control. Well, how do you get centers of trade? You get the production of a good called commerce, I think. Or isn't there? No, you produce commerce. There we go. You have an industry producing commerce. I believe that's the main factor. We may need to turn off effects, because that playing that coin noise every time you press this is quite annoying. I wonder if we can disable that. I may request that we disable that. I say we as if I have anything to do with it. I may request that the team disable that. There are now multiple levels to these tooltips, but it appears to play a noise when you cycle through them, which is not ideal. So many numbers is very, very true. Okay. Yeah, so there is commerce. So we're producing 4.632 units of commerce in our commerce industry in Izmit. And I'm guessing it's kind of quantity of commerce generated per... Well, in the previous one with centers of trade, it was region... It was area, region, super region, or whatever they were called. Yeah, it was region, continent. Sorry, subcontinent, continent. Had an impact on it. Maybe now it's just... I don't know. I'm trying to look at regions and then seeing if one can really tell where it's getting more. So yeah, it looks here like it might be region-based, but how it's generating those, I'm not sure. So the Romans should be pretty easy to kill. They've only spawned with one dude, but I think they'll get more when we actually unpause. But the maintenance of troops is now way more complicated than it was. You actually have to pay them and things, so this campaign may just like fail. We may crash and burn, but that's fine. Advisors are different and very much work in progress. Right, yeah, so we better worry about factions for a second here. Currently we have a powerful bureaucratic faction because just of inertia, basically, and innate influence. Okay. And what's generating that innate influence, eh? I have no idea. We should really unpause a bit before I start looking at too many things, because many things will get set up as we start going. Center of trade are tied to merchant generation? Yes. Yes, this is why I brought them up. don't need to change settings. So right now we could end volunteer service, which is one of these laws. Where do you see your law overview? Probably here. Yeah, so these are our national rights. And these can be changed. So this is one of the ways. There are still privileges that estates have, although the estates aren't here yet. But this is another thing. You have your national rights. And changing the rights over time is one of the big ways that you can shape your nation. Ooh, what was that? I saw minus 20% commerce generation. It seems bad. Because we have a legal wilderness. The lack of rules and the transience of those few that do exist concerning trade makes it a highly lucrative venture for those willing to brave the risks involved, ultimately at the costs of those needing their services. Okay. So we lose one base consultation with the burghers, which I presume will influence their influence. Beyond the fields, forests, and resources of the countryside, merchants and trade provide the backbone of advanced societies, moving goods across great distances and transforming entire economies through integrated multi-level networks. Heck yeah. Trade can live and die by a supporting framework of the realms they trade in, providing incentives and barriers from state to state. So there's tons of these things, and they're really cool and interesting, and we're not going to look at them today. Or at least not in this episode. So we're not going to end volunteer service, which would essentially mean transitioning from... Right now we have military service, and we could transition to volunteer service. Why is it called volunteers? Oh, okay, right. We have volunteers, and we could go to devolved. Okay. And the effect would be you get 0.1 times peasant welfare times... Jesus Christ. Times minus 2% plus minus 2%. What do you mean times a percentage? When you times by a percentage, like when you times by negative 2%, is that like times 0.02? Not sure. Well, we won't worry about it too much. So right now, okay, we can compare. This is good. So here's an example of what a law does. Right now, our military service law is level 2. I believe that's how that works. And it basically trends, I think, mostly from decentralized to centralized, higher numbers being more centralized, but that's just my initial impression. So we get 0.1 times peasant welfare. So I guess that's basically... Is that kind of tracking how many healthy people there are? I suppose. Because welfare is basically how well people are meeting their needs. So at this level, level 2, you get 5% times your bureaucracy power base manpower. So if we look at Izmit, to use our example, right now we're getting... Okay, you can't see it here. You can see it in here, I think. But, I mean, it doesn't show you the maths in there. No. Okay. But can we look at the population, perhaps? Are all our men... No, not all our men are derived from... So why is it only using peasant levy? It's odd that it's only using peasant welfare. Is that peasant, by the way, that symbol? I think it's peasant. But it might just be labour. As you can see, I'm going to try and unpause this episode. You can click on military service to get an overview. Oh, so I can. Thank you, Acculturation. Alacrius, sorry. You're very kind. Thank you. So, at this level... but it doesn't give us the maths for this one. That's not what this says. Effects. Transition... This doesn't match what it's saying. That's interesting. Because this says all recruitment and organization is devolved to nobility, which would basically mean you're only getting manpower from estates, basically. It's not quite that you get it directly from estates, I think. I think you get, so the feudal levy here is coming from a relationship between you and the estates. But it's not quite right that that's all it's saying on this one. Or is the minus 2% there essentially showing that it's doing nothing? Not sure. Anyway, so right now we have volunteers, and you could have... So right now we get some welfare and some bureaucracy power is having an impact. Or you could have it all be estates, or you could have it be lots of influence from bureaucracy power, but no impact from welfare. Or you could have it conscription, in which case you have it all from bureaucracy power. Okay, and it's just non-elite classes. Maybe that's what that symbol means. Effect you have shows a full event. Effect, not the difference. Correct, but this should show the difference because I believe I was told that the effects showed difference, but could be wrong. Could be wrong. Maybe it would be here. You meet the requirements, so I do. Cool. Well, we're not going to do that anyway. We will want to form this when we can. We won't want to move that. We will well, let's check these and then we can kind of consider them as they become options. But basically, every time you reform, it destabilizes. So you only want to be doing it when you're kind of in the good times, I would say. And we don't want to end volunteer service. We don't want to change settings. Okay. The thing is, devolved to volunteer would have that difference. What? The difference of... And yet the effect here appears to be reading like the effect of volunteers, but slightly different. Certainly doesn't read anything like the effect of devolved. But anyway, I'm endeavoring to not get too bogged down today, so we'll be pressing on. Policies. This is right. Yes. So we haven't looked at these very much, but this is cool. So there are now actual trade-off policies, which is interesting. So we should probably set some of those. Lose centralization for stability. It's tempting. We didn't really. Centralization right now is chonking up there because of stat absolutism, which is probably because our states haven't calculated yet. I should probably wait for that to upgrade a bit. Okay, our mission tree has changed. We've lost the generic mission tree, I think. Oh no, we still have some of it. Still have the colonial, but we don't have. There's not much. The religious default mission tree has gone. That's interesting. I wonder if that's intentional. Ooh, and we have 2 idea groups already. Ugh, they're both military ideas. God, that sucks. Unless they've changed how ideas work. I mean, that's pretty powerful. It seems more powerful than before. Could be wrong. Oh, these are way more powerful than before. Things are no longer like 2.5. It's actually 10%. Policies haven't been reworked. They've been reworked since 2.5. These are not the same as 2.5. The names are similar, but they're not the same. Okay, so basically the ones that give you stability increase now don't only give you stab for free. They cost you. Oh, this one's autonomy. This one's centralization, and there isn't a military one anymore. Okay, okay. Interesting, interesting. It's annoying that this clips. I wonder why that is. So what does it actually give you? 3 missionary strength, less tolerance. And remember that less tolerance of heathens is effectively more missionary strength. Well, unless that's been reworked. What's our missionary strength here right now? Tolerant minus 1% in an Orthodox province. And our tolerance of Orthodox is not positive 1. Oh, tolerant is a ruler trait. Right. I was looking for the actual impact of our tolerance. You can see why I might be confused. Is it that it applies directly in here? It seems unlikely. No. Maybe being intolerant no longer helps you convert. But, I mean, the religious system is highly work in progress, as I've said. So, free policies. We obviously want to do centralized the state, I think, because... Not least because we might want to take this as well. Oh, it costs us an admin point a year. I mean, a month. Do we want to centralize more? We're currently centralizing. I should just unpause. I should just unpause so that we can get the estates to spawn. It will take a very long time to do the 1st of January calculation. I am doing... This is still a 1.29 campaign, but it's on 3.0. I will be redoing the campaign. The one that's currently on YouTube. This is the beginning of the redoing of that campaign. The heck was that sound effect? I feel like I didn't recognize that. But yeah, the 1st of January tick takes a while. And I should say, you know, I'll be attempting to read the 2.5 campaign. And we've already eclipsed Kandahar. Nice. Free little bit of power projection. Okay, can it make it to the 2nd? I believe. Obviously, this is not typical for monthly ticks. It's just that when it's getting started. Alright, Lands of Anatolia. We will read this time. So, things have now calculated a bit. We have estates. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The Lands of Anatolia. Since the fall of the Sultanate of Rum, the emergent Beyliks of Anatolia have been locked in a power struggle over the former lands of Rum. Any serious power moves by the major powers will break the careful balance to the scorn of all Bailics, while any move by a minor Bailic risks a coalition to crush any upstarts. The only safe action is war against the enemies beyond the lands of the Bailics, Christians or otherwise. As a frontier nation of Islam against the infidels beyond, we always have a causeless ability to declare holy war against neighbouring heathens. Victory against heathen enemies will encourage Ghazi warriors to flock to our cause, renewing our enemies in the form of our armies in the form of additional manpower and ducats. If one Bailic gets truly dominant, with all the other Bailics combined, the power struggle may find an end towards diplomatic means. So essentially, what I'm reading there is, if we can get so powerful by conquering Bulgaria and, what's the name of this area? Thrace, then we might be able to persuade the other Bailics. And where are the Bailics that you're... The Aretinids, you're a Bailic as well, aren't you? I think it's all these guys? I don't know if you are a Bailic. I don't have permanent claims. A new start awaits. Do I have some kind of event or something I can look at about the Bailics? Oh, we got all kinds of other things. I think I have a Bailic thing. Here we go. Anatolian power. So we right now have 24.3% share of all the Bailic devs. So if I can slightly more than double my dev, then we will be able to perhaps have a peaceful solution to the Bailic, issue. Which might mean just annex these guys, but I have no idea how that event chain works. Right. So trading, we're not going to dive into it because it's the first episode, and I said I'd try to unpause. We're going to go 30 minutes on this one. We need to collect in the home node because basically for you to trade with a region, as a state or as people, I'm not sure, you need to have a chain of merchants. So where do we want to trade with is basically what you're choosing where you put the merchants. Obviously, there's also the impacts of actually placing the merchants, at least I assume there is. But the question is, where do I want to trade with? And I'm not really sure how I answer that question. I suppose I want to trade with Egypt just because it's the largest market, and so more likely to have like good prices on things I want. But I mean, Levant is also a big market. These are the kind of questions that are really difficult for me to make. Sorry, decisions that are really difficult for me to make because I'm just not familiar with how it all works. And I don't really know how to get I don't think I can get an overview of the trade going on in a node. But I'm being told you don't actually need a merchant in your home node. It's just beyond the home node you need the chains of merchants. Okay. Interesting. We probably still want one there just for actual money. But just to facilitate trade, I mean, yeah, I think I'm going to trade in Egypt. Just on the basis that maybe we want to buy all their grain or something. Like, presumably you make lots of food down here. I apologize about the noise, by the way. I have to keep the window open because it's just too hot. Like, I'm assuming, yeah, you've got. I mean, just this is a difficulty. I don't know how to see an overview, and I think you can't basically. Don't know how to see how much food is being produced here. It's tricky. It's tricky. You can check how much trade is going on in provinces and which provinces import or export certain goods. That's good to know. Thing is, I don't know how to get an overview of what I need. I'm going to trade with Egypt for now on the basis that they're a big market, so they're likely to have things I want to buy and things I want to sell compared to other smaller markets. Although we're connected to the Turanian, they're out of range, so I believe trade range is seriously reduced. No, that seems normal. Not sure. Yeah, Venice. Can't actually reach Venice, but Venice is also a good option. National decisions. So we can. These are the ones that we can actually pass. Some of these reforms. We could do this. So when it says effects here, minus 30% commerce production, I believe that should be net effect. Which one is this, by the way? Commerce. But it's not, right? It's not going to go from 20 to 50. It's going to go from 20 to 30. So this is just the actual, well. Hey, honey, how you doing? Minus 50% merchant from trade centers. Oh, that's interesting. So you get less competitive, but you have more Okay, so right now, because of this legal wilderness, 15% times the noble power, which is just this number. So 15% times 63%, so, 10-ish. 10% of burgher income is transferred to noble wealth. Okay. Whereas, if I do this, you see that it says, okay, so it says the minus... Maybe it really does go to 50% less commerce production. Okay, okay. So this goes to state-controlled trade, level 1. Oh, okay, so legal wilderness is actually the second tier. This is a not a downgrade, but a downward move in terms of going 2 to 1. Okay. So instead of... Ooh, that's interesting. So you get less commerce production, less merchants produced, but you yoink 15% times bureaucratic power. Well, that's interesting. These powers are no longer zero-sum gain. I'm guessing it's zero-sum amongst the estates. Or maybe this just hasn't updated yet. I'm not sure. And we get that as local tax income, which is, income, plenty of which we get. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. But, yes, you get less commerce production. Okay, well, we're definitely not going to do that. Tax obligations. So right now we have cash dues, and we could change it to noble administration. Nobles pay their share in financial obligations, yet recoup their costs through lobbying and the corruption of tax administrations through bureaucratic service. Okay, so I think these are the net changes. Okay, I'm going to operate on the basis they're net changes. You get less noble gravity. Is this the same one? Yes. Okay, so this is, we can go up or down here. Going up means you get less noble gravity, which I assume means less nobles. Like it's similar to population gravity in 2.5. But you get less manpower from the nobles, whereas this gives more manpower. And you get less noble investment in feudal levies. Now remember, feudal levies are one of the ways in which you get men. The feudal levy here, which is getting us, which I think is the lion's share of our armies right now. Yeah, you have a national army. At the moment, as a non-tribal, we basically have a national army, a feudal levy, and a citizens' militia. Right now, the citizens' militias just don't exist anywhere. So, yeah. And the lion's share of our army, like 80%, is coming from, like, I mean, just looking at this one province. This is something I'd love an overview of, but I believe that does not exist yet, which is fair enough. It's an alpha. So the lion's share is coming from feudal levy, so we definitely don't want to annoy our levies, our nobles, by getting less manpower from them. Or by inducing them to put less money into the feudal levies. You do, however, get more revenue tax from nobles. Interesting. It would be useful if what was shown here was both the effect and the outcome. Ah, okay, so the lack of citizen levy, I'm being told, thank you, is because we don't have any conscription. So right now we have levies, which are the feudal levy, I'm assuming? Or is one of these the feudal levy? Okay, noble levies, okay. And we have, okay, there's citizen service. Volunteers. I wonder where volunteers get shown. And the National Army, maybe? None of these appear to be volunteers to me. Or at least it doesn't say they are. Okay. So right now we have high volunteer service. Okay, okay. Well, we won't worry about that too much. I don't think we want to mess with it. I mean, we could... I'm tempted to encourage noble service. The nobles will be displeased either way. Displeased brackets -1. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean -1 loyalty, or is that more complicated than that? I presume it means -1 loyalty. They own a lot of our land. Lots of our farming. Most of our forestry. They own 21% of the property. Interesting. Interesting. Clans are quite loyal. How you doing, clans? They have no property. Interesting. And no land. Okay, I guess the clans are more kind of... unattached. Okay, and we can disempower them. So this is basically, we have rights. You do rights here. Disempower. This is the same as. Oh, okay, the clients have literally no rights. Okay. You need the relevant. Yeah, that makes sense. But I don't understand why volunteers aren't showing up. Hello, my love. Excuse me. Have returned. Ah, scrolling. Excuse me. Okay. We're trying to play. I just want to understand it all, man. Okay, I'm assuming the -1 does not mean -1 loyalty, because that seems so utterly inconsequential. But I think the reforms event has other outcomes. But we will see. We will see. Yes, and as people are mentioning, we should delegate the tax code. This is. I mean, we won't go into it now, but I think the tax system is really interesting. I want a more interesting way to interact with it than just delegating it. But for now, that's what we have. So that's what we're going to do. So let's use this selection feature. We want to select. Oh, darn. It changes it every time you switch it. Oh, no, it didn't that time. That's interesting. Now will it stay? Ah, bizarre. We want to select all provinces. So then we go here and we go, boom. Now we've got these pins in all of our provinces. That pin is in that province. Don't question it. So we've got all provinces selected. And now we can clear selected provinces if we want to. But we can also do things to our provinces, like delegate the tax code. So let's do it. Taxing now costs monarch points, mana. So what we need to do... Oh, and you can just do it from all states. All selected. Okay, so I didn't need to do that. And you can do non-OCs and all that kind of stuff. Cool, well, we can unselect stuff then. Delegating the tax code. So, the level of control you have over this script is currently extremely low. What it does is it runs a script that attempts to get you as much... good question. As much money or as much manpower? I'm not sure. The two things that you directly tax are money and manpower. Or at least the two things you get from your taxing. You are taxing a huge number of different things when you do that. And currently we're asking it to delegate our tax code across all our provinces such that we get as much money and manpower for a cost of 12 of each monarch point per year. We can increase these numbers, we can decrease them, and they have their lovely, plus minus system. We're going to leave it at 12 for now. We're going to have it automatically redelegate once a year. And we are going to have it tell us each year how much it cost us in terms of monarch points, because I'm curious to see that at least once. Okay, I'm being told that admin is spent all on income. Diplo is spent on obligations, and military is spent on manpower. Now, obligations, I have to assume, can get you both manpower and cash. So I wonder how it balances. Yes, because noble dues gets you cash, and noble levies gets you manpower. So I wonder how it balances between those two. Anyway, we will delegate it. Now, this is obviously an alpha, but one of the really interesting things I think about this update, one of the incredible, fantastic systems they've built is this very complicated cash and tax system. Unfortunately, you can't do very much to it, because, you can do it manually in every province, or you can delegate it. But there's no good way at the moment to say, delegate it, but don't use this one, so that you can say, like, I want to have this, but we're going to have a huge alcohol exercise. We're going to have a massive tax on any of you heathens that want to drink alcohol. And, or any, true believers who are having a sneaky one. So right now we're going to just delegate taxes. Okay. So I don't know if that changes anything, because it might have already been set throughout the provinces, but I don't think we had a tribal host before. Or at least we didn't in that one province, but anyway, we've changed that. Oh, cool. We lost 9,000 manpower. That wasn't from that event, I hope. We can invest in technology. So technology works differently. Rather than having administrations, having institutions changing the institution penalty you have, now what they do is each gives a minus 100% tech cost. As you can see, it's the one of the modifiers in all of these. And tech costs go up over time. So the increase over time right now is 8%. I imagine that can get... I think that goes up to like 900%. But is that how it works? Or is it just that each text costs higher amount of mana? I'm not sure. The thing, I mean, that's cool. It's a cool system. I can see why they've wanted to do it that way. The problem with it is that I think that means that tech cost modifiers, won't they be worthless now? Pretty sure. Pretty sure. You can cut taxes and manpower to curtail unrest. Yes, it's very cool. So I'm pretty sure if we take, like, culture ideas, I'm pretty sure the idea groups are mostly the same, although this is definitely different. The idea groups are not the same. There's a bunch of new icons, and I am immediately overwhelmed and very excited. Where's culture ideas gone? Okay. Okay, so I was going to say that reducing tech costs would be less useful than it was before. And you know what? I think they might have thought of that, because there's no tech cost reduction here anymore. Okay, good to know, good to know. So we can take Lance Rests, which will cost us 82 military power. Have we already embraced meritocracy? That's another change. So legalism starts pretty much where it did before, I think. Although I'm sure there's tweaks. Meritocracy starts in the former Roman lands, core former Roman lands, and still India, I imagine. And then commercialization begins in Italy. And then you get casual literacy. Does this still have to... And the main thing that's changed with institutions, or at least one of the other main things, is that they can spread anywhere that they could be invented, they spread. So it's not like they're invented in one place and they spread across the whole world, although that also happens. They can also appear in any province, which is really cool. I believe you hover here. Yes, okay, so to invent casual literacy, you need 14 admin tech. Any known country has embraced casual literacy. Okay, so I guess there's still an event to fire the beginning of casual literacy. And the province has to have commercialization, a knowledge production greater than or equal to 2. Knowledge is one of the trade goods. So right now we're producing 5.12 in Bursa, so plenty. Not this one, this one. And the invention progress is the knowledge production minus 2 divided by 8 squared. Okay, so so let me run this here. So if we have 5.12 knowledge production right now in Bursa. Okay, so 5.12 minus 2. All right, that's that. I could probably do that one in my head. Divided by 8 squared. So we would get 0.13. Oh, sorry, I've stopped hovering. We'd get 0.15 monthly. I assume that's monthly progress towards inventing casual literacy in Bursa right now. If it were 1450 and it had started, and we had the right tech, and we had commercialization. Oh, it also has to have a higher learning industry. Okay, I guess we don't have that. Is higher education and higher learning the same thing? I don't know. I think I might be able to check, though. If we select the province... Yeah, I was going to unpause this episode, wasn't I? Ah, select them all again. That's not what I meant to do. Select it. Select individually. Bursa. Select the province. I can now open new slots. Can I open one called higher education? Higher learning. Yes. Okay, so we now know that higher learning and higher education are different things. No, because I can open religious education. You're telling me higher learning and higher education are actually the same. It's just that they're called different things in different places. That is frustrating. Use the estate macro builder? What? What would this help me with? Ooh. This doesn't seem to be showing me anything useful. Okay, so it's a type of academic industry, I have to imagine. But, okay, interesting. So if we... Oh, this is the wrong one. Casual literacy. So we have to get a higher learning industry, which I think we already have. Like if I press this button, will it just open another industry? Industry is a... why is my music stopped? Sorry, hang on. Did we get to the end? We did. Go back. Let's have some Surviving Mars. It'll help me think. No, don't go to my own stream. There we go. Okay. We already do have it. Okay, so it's just being called different things. It's being higher education here and higher learning here. That is a bug report. Chloe, could you possibly do that bug report for me? Because that's very annoying. Things should be called the same place in all places. Okay, so we do have higher education, so we will be able to get that. Cool. But that's one of the cool changes to institutions, is you don't just need to worry about where am I? Where is it relative to me? You need to worry about, you know, do I have the right preconditions in the province in order to get it to flourish, which is very, very cool. Okay. So we could take this, and we will do so. No, we should take it just before we go to war, because there's no reason to take it now. We're already ahead of time. Is there still a ahead of time bonus on these? No more ahead of time bonus. Interesting. Okay. Anything else? We need to do much appreciated. Am I saying your name, by the way? Sleelowy? Sleelowy? I'm sorry. Justice Fighter I can pronounce. Right, I think that's all we need to do right now. The thing is... Okay, no, you know what? I'm not going to unpause this episode. People sometimes want me to unpause in chat, and they think if you don't unpause, you're not doing anything, and they are wrong and foolish. No offense. Because you do things pause. You do almost everything in this game pause. We should need a new rival. That's something we can do. Venice? Could embargo Venice? I'm not sure. Embargoes presumably stop my areas trading with them, but... Are there no national ideas? There are. They're up here. And you unlock them over the course of your first idea group. In fact, look, we have 2... I wonder if that's just displaying differently. Is this my ambitions? Sorry, is this my tradition and this my ambition? But yeah, so let's look at these, because these have changed. We get loads of manpower, and manpower recovery speed, and force limit. Good lord. Core creation cost down. Material costs for projects. Okay, projects. I believe project is basically anything you build. I think, like, if I chose to build infrastructure, I think it would be that. But, anyway, I believe that's right. And we get 5% admin efficiency. Is admin efficiency the same? Doesn't tell me. Speculation is integrating foreign process, reviewing overextension. Yes, okay, it looks like this is the same. Cool. And we have some foreign acculturation. Is that what that says? Foreign acculturation. I don't know that word. Or is it acculturation? Since the fall of the Seljuk, the Oghuz have been dispersed across many lands, yet our influence remains strong. Those who rule have come to embrace our ways, and we have long accepted and accommodated them. So, we have 20% less culture conversion resistance. I imagine that means we can culture convert easier. We can promote more cultures, and we tolerate heathens more. We have Holy War. Long ago, the mighty Seljuk converted to Islam before his march west and the founding of an Islamic dynasty. Okay, we enable Ghana reinforcements and victories against infidels, and we get the Holy War CB. Very cool. And 15%. God, that's so strong. And we are the heirs to an empire. Only beginning of our people's legacy. We will conquer our enemies. We'll build a new realm that will stand the test of time. Fantastic. These are amazingly powerful. But I'm not complaining. I never complain when the buffs are in my favor. Okay. We're not going to worry about all of these. Can I hide these, in fact? Show you, are they utility decisions? No. These utility decisions. Ah, but now I can. Okay, rights toggle. Okay, all reforms. Only available reforms. Hide reforms. We're not going to reform for now, I think. So let's not worry about that. Tooltip toggle. What is this? Every cycling modifier will get an additional layer that explains about the concepts contained. Oh, baby. This is my toggle. Show me it. Show me the extra information. It's the same. I've been lied to. I'm not seeing an extra layer of information. There it is. Okay. Good lord. I'm not going to read this now. I'm crying. There's too much information. Give me a second. I'm legitimately weeping. I'm not weeping. Weeping implies more than what's actually going on. But this is absurd. Good lord. Size, income. Holy Christ. Okay, well, we're not going to read that just now, but I'm going to leave the toggle on. Delegated property maintenance. You what, mate? Automatic maint. Delegated property maintenance. I assume that means this maintenance. So right now we have no state maintenance, and that'll be automated. Interesting. Automatic investment is off. Click to enable. Does that just do... Okay, I can add provinces to investment. I have an investment manager. I've waited all my life. And we have the Dwarf Fortress cartoon. Choose for your treasury every X years to be spent on investment in the following in your provinces. 0115. Okay. Requirements for investment to take place. If a capital, you have to have at least 1% state reach. If it belongs to a capital state, at least 7% reach. Else, 15% reach. Okay, so state reach is basically how much control you have over the area. I don't totally understand what that modifies. You know what? You know what? No! There isn't a super long page. I'm cycling through the empty places where it will probably be in the future, I imagine. Okay. If only expansion of capacity around the role and centrality of administration and state reach, then a more complex system can elevate administrative governance to a role beyond ties of loyalty and obligation towards something truly ascendant. The truly ascendant centralized state. How it works. It evaluates the provinces, sets a score based on expansion desire, communication efficiency, if it's a capital. When it says if it's capital, I imagine if it's like my capital, like this, Bursa right now. Profitability, throughput, income, if the property can be maintained. So this is investment just in property, I think. And property is one of the many wonderful things that are new and tracked, which we can see here. Is that all the property? No, okay, so there's various property in this state. Some of it is resources, some of it is districts. And those the little numbers by the houses. That's the quantity of property in that type. And that's what you can buy. And when you own property, you own a certain amount of the industry. So if the state owns, like in Bursa, for example, right now the state owns 3.23 of the fishery property, which means we get that much income and are expected to front that much of the expenses of the fishing industry, because you can see by the color. That's infrastructure. See, this is something I'm still confused on. What the hell is the difference between infrastructure and property? Is it under terrain? No. Where is the property then? Each resources... Every able class will attempt to invest their wealth and resources to maintain their share of property, using any available surplus to construct new holdings and increase their relative standing. Resources are inherently finite. Yes. Constant maintenance is required. So where is the property then? If the property is not this number, I'm very confused as to what the heck it is. Is it only this one? I mean, I understand. It's in the infrastructure one. But I thought this is the infrastructure. These numbers are the units of infrastructure when it gets to another one. So irrigation right now, we have 10 out of 11. So if we put a bit more into irrigation, we'd rank up from irrigation 1 to 2 here. Which would mean, more maintenance, but the maintenance is per unit, so having 10 out of 11 is hugely inefficient. Our roads infrastructure, can you get money from tolls? There is pathing infrastructure, of which you have units of it. You can set up tolls, I think. One of these... Oh, that's poll tax. Okay, here we go. Tollage. Well, that's a tax on commerce. Goods. So you can tax goods moving. I don't know if you can tax people moving. moving from life to death with inheritance tax, but beyond that, I don't think we can. Property is pathing. Yeah. Property is pathing roads, for example. So you're telling me these units of infrastructure are units of property? That doesn't sound right. All right, I'm going to read. Give me a second here. Property. A set of constructible objects where each unit has an owner, costs maintenance, and provides space for related industries. When owned, it gives a cut of the profit from its related industries to its owner. What cut? Why a cut? Of the profits specifically. It's odd. That seems odd to me that that's a cut. Okay. Elites can build them when they are in need. Lack of property can lead to a reduction in industry throughput. Yeah. Overabundance of property has no effect. Okay. Except that there's room to expand into with industry, I guess. Maybe that's not how it works. You can cycle through the industry modifier to check how much of what property each industry are using. Yeah. Resources are a set of properties whose main roles are to... So I'm right! These are properties! I'm not mad. Okay, mining. We've got 30 out of 30 potential units of mining property that exist. They are owned by that breakdown shown at the bottom. Right now, they... where are the costs? I'm not sure if there is a cost associated. Surely there is. Well, the profitability... Oh, sorry, the income. Is this profit on income, or is that gross? Not sure. A silver mine industry requires mining infrastructure to work. If the silver mine pays for the mining infrastructure that it uses. Okay, so right now, there are 30 units of mining infrastructure in Bursa. Okay. I've lost it. I've lost my mind. Where are the miners? There they are. Okay, so they're mining, and the ones owned by the peasants are operating at 19.2% efficiency, I think, or throughput rather. The nobles are operating much more effectively. The burghers are operating very ineffectively, and the clergy are operating 15% effectively. And they're generating that much profit. And they're also, in doing that, they're having to spend on both labor and infrastructure costs. I think. So they're having to spend on... Well, what are they having to spend on? Because there's no infrastructure. What, they're spending on irrigation infrastructure? Because state extraction comes under irrigation? No, the peasants own 19.3%. Oh, okay, I was just misreading that. Okay. I looked at those and thought they don't add to 100. Wait, those don't add to 100. Oh, they do, because the top one is 19. I was misreading the top one as 9. Okay. Okay, so that's the percentage that they own, and their... So what is that? What is the income there? Is that gross or net income? Infrastructure itself has an upkeep. Right. Okay. It is profit, we reckon. Okay. So right now, all our commercial stuff in Bursa is making a horrible loss. So I imagine the size of that property is going to decline over time. As people divest? Or as it just dies? I'm not really sure. And then once that property's gone, there is less property here, I think. So what they're paying, just to confirm, their income for industry slots using infrastructure minus the cost of maintenance. Is their income from the industry slots? Okay. And their income for mines, are they mining actual goods? Like, are they making raw in the mines and then selling it? And does that deter to the stockpile, I assume? And that determines their profitability. I feel like I need to get on a voice call with Justice Fighter at some point and say, to just not let you leave the call until you explain to me what the heck the difference between property and infrastructure is. Because as far as I can tell, there are infrastructure units, I understand that, and they determine the level of the rank of infrastructure. Infrastructure units cost industries. Industry starts to use infrastructure. Check industry. Yeah, so these are using right now. Where's the mining? Or am I misunderstanding? Mining is not an industry itself. Industry slots use infrastructure. Okay, so these industries. So for example, I am once again the salt from Bursa. It's spending, you know, it's making 17, spending 11, almost 12. It's got a profitability of plus 47%. Mad profitable. But that's sea salt. So what the heck is the mining doing? That's what I don't understand. Because the mining is not an industry. There's this mining property. Sea salt mining is a bit unconventional. Oh, it is doing that. Okay. So it's just that I'm being held back by my silly mortal ideas that mines don't generate sea salt. Okay, so the mines are working on sea salt. Okay. So there's 29.992 industry of sea salt mining using the mining. Okay. I think I'm still somewhat sane, and they're using. They're making an income in their sea salt industry of. Why can't I take 12 from 17, dude? 15.6 ish. 15.6 income. So then, if we look at the infrastructure, and we look at mines. Sorry, not 15.6. What am I saying? I can't believe I'm gonna get just get the right number here. Okay, 17.65 take 11.96. Okay, 5.69 ducats. Why is only 4 ducats of that making it back? Because it said a cut. A cut is the owner. Okay, so this is the owner of the mining property. Okay. Mining is the infrastructure it's using. Okay, the sea salt slot in industry here rents mining infrastructure. Okay, so the 4 ducats here for mines is the rent they are receiving. No, that would be included in their spending. Okay, so the 11.96 ducats of spending on sea salt includes 4 ducats going to the owners of the mining infrastructure, which is also property, I think. and then they have some other expenses, which would be labor. Can I see their other expenses? Oh, it's in here. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Okay. No, it doesn't have it there. It doesn't show. What? How are you spending 12 ducats on labor when you only spend 11.9 ducats total? I'm going to lose my mind. So there's. That confuses me. How is the sea salt spending lower than 12 when they have a spending of 12 on labor? It's all property, always has been. They're receiving more, actually, but the industry needs to maintain itself. Right, okay, that makes sense. So the income on this infrastructure is not merely 4 ducats for the owners of the mines. Because they're spending some maintaining those mines. Okay. Now, this fucking sea salt. Why are they not spending any money? Why is they output 12.6? Okay, I understand that. And they They're employing 2.4, almost 2.5 units of labor at a cost of 12 ducats. How have they managed? They're fiddling their books, dude. How are they managing to spend 12.1 ducats on labor with total costs of 11? I'm just gonna stop trying to answer that question because I'm losing it. I'm losing it. This is like, it's like a dying to a Dark Souls boss, but worse. Better, actually. It's more fun. But anyway, so this one is slightly more complicated. I can understand how it's working. So ships here, for example, they're outputting some naval stuff and some luxury stuff. They're taking fiber, fuel, raw, and they're using urban labor. And they've got a size and a profit. Okay. Okay. And art imitates life. Labor is the largest expense in most things. Okay. Okay. It just doesn't show their rent here, which is confusing to me. I don't know. Check your labor supply and demand. It's under population, right? Those miss it. Or maybe it's not under here. Or is it here? Yes, okay, here we go. Labor supply. Yes, we've got lots of labor supply. And there's a rural wage, which is 4.88, I guess, per unit of rural labor. Nomad wage, urban wage, noble wage. A literii wage. Does that mean the wage of the literate? I didn't know that word. Literii. Literii? I think. Anyway. Okay. Sizes from infrastructure. Yes, yes, I have understood that much. And when you say from infrastructure, to be clear, all right, Justice Fighter, I beg of thee, please type out in one comment what property is, where you see it, and why it matters. My understanding at the moment seems to be it's just made up of infrastructure, basically. Literary is highly educated labor. Right, okay. I would really appreciate that, Justice Fighter. All right, so this is the investment manager. We're not going to do any of it, right? Because I want to have control of all my money myself. We're not going to invest. We're trying to grow right now. It's not a time for investment. It's a time for aggressive new acquisitions, if we were to put it in the corporate sense, by which we mean we're going to burn, pillage, and conquer. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let there be no doubt. I love this. All right, Serbia still has all their vassals, of course. Still has them, says Christo, after unpausing for literally 2 days. If we're going to try and diplomatically unite the Beyliks, I probably shouldn't rival them. So I guess I'm going to rival Bulgaria. But I really don't want Bulgaria to ally the Romans. Which would be unfortunate. Not sure if it fits into Twitch chat. You could put it in the Discord if you like. That would also be brilliant. I will read it out, and it will still be of benefit to people in Twitch chat. Okay, so I want to keep these decisions open, actually, I think. We are delegating... No, okay. Turn off automatic investment. We're not doing that. Property maintenance. I kind of need to know what the heck this is. I assume that means it automatically chooses whether or not, or to what extent, to maintain the property that is owned directly by the state, such as some of the fisheries and farmland and resources in Izmit. Oh, we own a lot of the resources in Izmit. 13%. Nice. We will eventually, of course, try and build like a seizing the means of production empire, which would be funny. Not necessarily in this one. Okay. There's a whole dev blog about production. I could also read that. I have unpaused. It's true, we've made it 2 days. All right, I'm going to leave that on because that's the advice I've been given. Okay, what have I hidden that makes this so short? Right, the reforms. Okay, we don't want to take tech. Do we want to focus? What a basic question, am I right? Do we want to focus a tech? It's like the kind of question we could practically answer just ourselves. Well, we have another mill idea to get out, unless we abandon this one. Which I don't think we're going to do. Abandon it, I mean. Because it seems like such a waste. But I'm unhappy that we have military ideas, because military ideas... I mean, it could be super different in 3.0, of course. But historically, in MEIOU and taxes, I think military ideas have been almost entirely pointless. They have been massively buffed, though. I swear this used to be like 2.5% or 5%. Okay. Yes, we do want to focus on a type and its admin. That's my decision making. Explain the decision making, Christo? No! We're an hour in. We haven't unpaused properly. Do you want to try and convert people? You know what? People have been saying in the comments, and they are right, that the Ottomans, not throughout their reign, not you know, in all circumstances, and they certainly did some horrendous things to religious minorities at various points, but they were, compared to lots of the other contemporary powers, relatively religiously tolerant. So maybe we go religious tolerance for this one. Maybe we'll go mysticism, and we'll go low piety, and kind of only middling church influence. And it could be fun. Although this has been nerfed, I think. There's no trade efficiency in here anymore, which makes me immediately want to just be fanatic again. But I think we'll do that. We'll be mystic. We'll have a nice jizya tax income, if that's still in the game. Should be good. Now, we have an income right now of 3 ducats. And this is another area that we're not going to dive into now, because for God's sake. But I think retail corruption is less bad now. It doesn't hurt your manpower generation anymore. It's still quite expensive. And it lowers it by 0.5. I think we're probably just not going to do that as normal. Manpower costs are complicated. I believe if I look up here, where is he? I think I have to turn off the fog of war as well. Isn't there there's a dude somewhere up here? Or is that gone? Maybe I'm crazy. Ignore me. Here's the map, by the way, if you haven't seen the whole 3.0 map yet. The big ass Hindustan over here. Similar looking stuff in China. Yuan looks larger. Are they a different color? I think they're a different color. Anyway. Let's toggle both of those. Okay. What else decisions? What other decisions do you need to make before you unpause? Yeah, so I think we're not going to convert people. I mean, I don't know. We still want, I mean, we can't be that tolerant to begin with because we have terrible religious unity. So maybe we do still convert people. Maybe I go immediately back on what I just said. Advisors, we can afford the lowest level because they're super cheap now. Do you want to get level 2 ones? So which estate do I want? The factions, to an extent, influence what laws you can have. And I don't really know which we want. The chief faction, the Metropolitan faction, the spiritualist, the aristocratic, and the bureaucratic. Well, let's just not worry about it too much to start with. We're going to get some Metropolitan faction influence from... These guys are all the same age, so we'll get you, sure. He's orthodox, which might cause some interesting events. Chiefs, we probably don't want much chiefs influence. Oh, and they all give more corruption. More corruption the higher. Interesting. Because they're, you're essentially choosing to have, you know, powerful members of your court, I guess, which obviously tend to be corrupt. Well, sure, chiefs influence. And this is all work in progress, by the way, in case that's not abundantly clear by all the question marks. And sure, some bureaucrats influence. Sounds good. I think we want bureaucrats influence to an extent is our ability to do stuff. Because we're not synonymous with the bureaucrats. Nice amount of money to have left. We're currently very tolerant of cultures. Sorry about the sirens. As I say, too hot to close the window. When is the release? That is not announced, and I don't know. And I think the devs don't know either. That is the nature of non-commercial dev cycles, when you don't have to tie yourself to something because you need to do a whole big marketing campaign. It's much better for everyone's stress levels if you just don't. So, we're working towards stability. When it gets to it doesn't pop out into 1. When it gets to 100, I think it just goes up. Our state reach is yeah. The idea of it. Let's read this one. This one's important. Traditions and obligations have long been the foundation of the world order, providing a means for functioning and stable society. Yet stability does not equate to progress, and the winds of change wait for no one. The idea of a state, an entity that supersedes the authority of all others, that co-opts the domain of elites and commoners alike, is a powerful catalyst for the ascendance of any aspiring government. Expanding the reach of this concept, the foundations and dependence on governance, administration, and eventually bureaucracy depends on the expansion of state reach. A vessel for change and a funnel through which new systems of taxation and governance can be created. High state reach will increase the efficiency of taxation and reduce the dependency of the realm on the elites. Okay. Now, when it says increase the efficiency of taxation, I assume that means the cost, not the quantity. Christo, where do you live? London. Can't see it now. Why can I see Paris? Ah, because I probably clicked on France. Hence I can see their capital. Fair enough. Okay. Okay. What are you doing? Oh, yes, you're converting. Policies. That's another decision we need to make. Do you want to centralize the state? Or would I rather have some less centralization, but stability increase? I'm tempted to go... I mean, we talked about maybe we should go tolerant. I think I'm going to immediately take... enforce religious law and start converting people. And now we'll see. We've got less than -1 tolerance. Do you get a bonus from this? Intolerance, yes, but it's lower than it used to be. It's only 0.2, unless it hasn't updated yet. Might not have updated yet. Which would make sense, right? Because it was -0.2 before. Other policies. You should make all policies free, by the way, because they're now trade-offs. They shouldn't cost 1 points, my opinion. Tolerance Act. Oh, we could go tolerant to begin with, but too late. We will immediately mediate internal disputes. And is there immediate disputes level 2? No, there is not. Interesting. Less manpower in exchange for -4 national unrest. Not necessary right now. Okay. Form the tax code. Right, so this is where we can... Oh, we Vicky boys. This is where we can set global tax rates. So I can say, like, just don't have any poll tax anywhere. We can leave that Ottoman for now. You have a tolerant ruler. It doesn't seem like a good idea to go against it. Yeah, but... I mean, in the long run, that just means that they're going to be less unhappy as they perish. It's so cheap to convert in this mod. At least that's my experience so far. It might be because it's TBD. Yeah, these costs are not being modified by anything. That must be because it's TBD. Maybe we do go tolerant. I mean, I've already picked this. So, we're probably not gonna. But, anyhow. I think I can unpause now. And I'm gonna kill that. Got a truce with you by any chance, I imagine? Yes? Cool. Alright, let's unpause. January 4th. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next episode. We've gained 2 stability, but there was the bad sound, which triggers my fear sensors. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you all in the next episode. Don't worry, Twitch, I'm not going anywhere. We unpaused, technically. See you next time. Bye-bye.